Welcome back. The big question on my mind, I guess on the minds of every discerning Nigerian who is a lover of our country, will be, when you look at a state like Plateau, will there ever be an end to the carnage on the Plateau? Because I can remember vividly, Christmas Eve in 2023, maybe over 100 people were killed. And then January that year, next year, we had another set of killings. And there's been repetition of killings, killings after killings. And just while the former president was being laid to rest after he passed in a London hospital, over 20 persons were killed in Riyom local government area. The governor visited and did ask some questions, but he did promise and said Riyom won't fall. Well, this is not the first time we're hearing government officials making promises, but we're afraid maybe it will happen again. Will there ever be an end to the killings on the Plateau before we can even talk about Benue? That's why we're being joined in the program by Joyce Radnap. She's the Commissioner for Information and Communication in Plateau State. Madam, welcome to the program, and our condolences to your state for this very sad and unfortunate incident that we've seen happen time and again.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you in the studio.
So let's begin with some basic dashboard entries, and that has to be with an update as to the number of persons that have been confirmed killed by this heartless whoever they are, because they go by all kinds of names. So we're hearing over 20, we're hearing 27. What exactly is the total number of people that have been confirmed killed? I don't want to use the word dead, killed by these gunmen.
Thank you very much. I'll begin by, again, sharing in the pain of all those who have been killed in this unfortunate incident again. It's unprovoked, not necessary, and this is what we're battling with in the state at every point in time. As a people in the state, we again will share in this pain as a people, and then our sympathy to the immediate family of those who lost their loved ones. Our prayer is with those that are still in the hospital at the moment, undergoing treatments because of the different degrees of injuries they sustained, and of course some were even burnt and all of that. So we share this pain together. On the number of people killed in Riyom is 27 total, including women, children, elderly, young people, all were murdered.
Now, because can you hear me, madam?
Very well, I can hear you.
Okay.
Well.
What do you make? We had, so I'm sure you went with the governor to Riyom, but we heard the governor made some statement. I wanted, since you were there and you're part of perhaps the delegation, I would like you to speak to it. Do you think the governor is suspecting the some of the members of the security forces or security agencies of foul play? Because he did ask them, you met the assailant, they say yes. You engaged them, they said yes. No one was wounded, no one was arrested. They said, I don't know whether they were able to answer that question. Help us make sense, because that was on camera, we don't know what happened behind the scene.
Okay, thank you very much. I was at that scene, and at even the other scene in Bokos and in Bassa in recent times, I was in those scenes. Of course, this was the conversation, and it's not the suspicion of the governor, but it's the report that we received from the people in the community. And this report that we received, if the security operatives, their heads were all there, and that question he asked was to the sector commander at that moment to make to deduce what is really the problem with that situation. And I must say that at that scene, the checkpoint is very close, it's barely 200 meters from where this incident happened. And that was why he was prompted to ask these questions. And of course, the response we got is that none was arrested and none was captured or whatever it is that would have been the case. None of those killers were even affected by all that has happened. And the people, again, were killed. And then the worst of it is that besides killing them, their farmlands too, they go into, after doing all the destruction, they go into the farms and then start destroying the crops that are growing in the farms. So this is why it is quite challenging, and for us as a people to be able to come to terms with what is really going on. And like the governor had said, yes, we have gallant army, we have gallant soldiers in the country. We also have them within Plateau State that are also making their effort to ensure that there is peace on the plateau. But of course, we still have the bad eggs amongst them. Because even within that community, the attacks came from 3 different sides. One side were able to contain them and ensure that nothing happened. And then, of course, the other side that is the closest to the place where the people were hiding in the church, they were the ones that were worst hit. And that is why we got that number of casualties that we've recorded so far.
So there were people killed in the church as well where they were hiding. Is that correct?
Yes. In fact, the pastor of that church, at a point, he said he will not sit here and wait for them to kill him as well. So he left, and his wife followed him. And right in his own house, 6 people were killed. And he was one of those that were interviewed at that scene. I'm sure your crew have the full details of that interview, because we made sure that we got both sides to hear what actually happened. The youth leader in that community also reported the situation where he was hiding and all of that. And he was seeing all that was going on in that area. And of course, the pastor who is there, the traditional ruler in that community, all these people gave the report of what happened in that community. So it's nothing hidden. What happened there is nothing hidden. But we do not want to stereotype and say that the entire army compromised in this issue, in this case. However, we just feel that there's room to do more investigation. And the governor specifically requested that at least they should have some form of arrest. If you are that close and you engage them closely like that, you should be able to say, okay, you engage them and this is where they followed. If you track them or whatever it is, the measure that you have put to be able to get the arrest done. But so far, no arrest has been done.
And that's shocking. Yes, the governor commended the ones who responded, who have sacrificed as well to protect the people. But it is just shocking. It is surprising to hear that 5 days after now, there's been no arrests. Or how many days after? How many days? Forgive me. About 4 days after now.
It's 3.
3 days, rather.
This is the 4th day.
4th day, yes. There's been no arrest. There's been, of course, clearly, if no arrest has been made, there will be no prosecution. The governor said that this is a genocide. That's how he described it, a genocide. He said that Riam will not fall. And in the narrative, in the conversation, it's always, they came and all of that. Why has it been hard to put a name to the people responsible, to put an identity to the people responsible, to say, well, these are the things we're suspecting. In fact, based on our intelligence, we know for sure that all of the evidence points to these people from this place, and this is their aim. Why has it been hard?
Thank you. I think it's hard because most times these people are faceless. Nobody owns up to say, oh, this is who we are and this is why we're doing this. And in events like you're not able to track them or to arrest them. If arrest is done, you can say, okay, A or B is arrested, and you can be able to interrogate further and know this is the aim of these people. It's not that we do not, of course, one common thing that the community have been able to say is that those people that arrested them were speaking Fulani. At the time, even as they are, I'm sorry, I said arrest, that been attacking. Yeah. When they come for the attacks, they also communicate. So you can also hear them. But however, we do not want to generalize because we still have the Fulanis living in our communities too. It's such a difficult thing to deal with when you are you are a leader for everybody, you're a governor, and you are taking care of everyone. But this is the constant report we get from the communities that are affected, to the people that are attacking those communities. To say that.
Right.
Sorry, you were...
Yeah, you can land on that point, but in addition to that, I saw the placards that the community people had saying they've lost confidence in and the staff commander. And then there was another one I saw. They said, release our youths now. What exactly is at play there? Are there youths from that community that have been arrested? For what reason? And have they been released now?
Well, I wouldn't be able to say if the youths have been released, but there was an attack before this very one that happened in another community that was close, and they arrested the youth from that community, and that is why they're carrying that placard. But we, in whatever is the situation, we do not want to shell people from that. When there's criminality around these things, we want justice to have its course. Even whatever it takes, let's justice have its course. But in the event that you do not have a clear divide as to why certain things are happening, so for the placards, everyone is expressing his own grief and his own pain. And the good thing is that with what happened there, besides the sector commander, we had the GOC there on that thing. So I'm sure he has seen all that has happened and the issues that the communities are raising. So I'm sure they will look into it. In regards to the sector commander, I'm sure they will look into that.
So these youths, they were arrested. Why were they arrested?
I think what happened is in that community that the youth were arrested, a soldier was killed also, and I haven't gotten the full report of that incident yet because that one was there was some issues around that community. I may not be able to give you an accurate report on that situation. If I get that report, I probably will send it to you again to be able to have the details of that.
Let's talk about that geographical area. What does it look like? Is it deserted? Is it what exactly? Because sometimes, for instance, in further north, you could see that before they could get any form of social amenity, even healthcare, water, all of that is quite a difficult situation because it's desert and all of that. So describe to us this community that has been affected. Sometimes they say ungovernable spaces, ungoverned spaces, all the terms we try to use. How hard is it to get security presence, and what is the level of response time? Because it's worrying to say that 200 meters away, there was security formation. So give us a description. Maybe we can look at it from that end first.
Okay, in most cases, the communities where you find them do this havoc are the hard-to-reach communities. Most times you find that these communities could be around the border of Plateau State, okay? In one of the community we went to in Pang, it is bordering Nasarawa State. The one in Bokos, Hursi is bordering Wamba local government. Now, they come in from those areas, and because of the terrain, and then, of course, the access around those areas, they do the havoc in those areas. And before the people in those areas, they call for help, they would have done much havoc, and then, again, disappear into thin air, wherever I can describe as where they disappear into. But the challenge about this very last attack and what is making it worrisome is that the proximity, this is on the access road, Riom to Hawaii. It's on the road. It's not a very hidden community that we say that, okay, it's very far, and that's why the people were not able to get access to help. And so there's a bit of complexity around these attacks, but in most cases, the areas where they attack are those areas that are a bit far to be able to reach on time.
So speak to us.
Even in the course of our going around with the governor, in fact, we were there for about 9 hours to be able to access all the communities that have been attacked so far in Riom local government.
I know that Governor Mutfwang has spoken time and again about state police having some sort of control, better control. I mean, you're not just called the chief security officer for nothing on paper. There should be some bite to that. So speak to us about what the state needs, what kind of, what I call a help now, but what more must be done on the part of the state, because we've heard time and again sometimes the president even saying, well, you go and sort out these issues. It is your responsibility to ensure there is peace. I've heard that come from the president's messaging time and again. But what must be done if we would end this thing decisively? Because it's a menace that is very annoying, it's almost diabolical. It doesn't make sense. So what more must be done?
Okay, thank you. For us in Plateau State, it's been our #1 position. Even when the recent Senate committee were here on the Plateau, that was our Plateau position, that our best option is state policing. And this is why the governor on his own part, in his own will to be able to tackle these challenges, because most times when this thing happens, the next question is what is the state doing about it? And what efforts have the state government put in place to ensure that this does not happen again? For us in Plateau State, this Operation Rainbow is our own state policing outfit. And the governor has made effort towards ensuring that he rejigs the activities of the Operation Rainbow. However, we are limited. Again, you know that for this state policing to function efficiently, we must have the backing of the federal, to probably have it as a constitutional thing that they can get the backing of the federal government. Now, nobody understands your terrain like you do. We, the people of Plateau State, they understand our terrain better. And so they can function better. And in any case, for us, Operation Rainbow is even complementing the activities of the traditional security operatives. And that is why we feel that the support for Operation Rainbow will go a longer way in tackling this issue. Just recently, the National Civil Defense, Security and Civil Defense Corps, they also trained about 150 agro rangers, okay, to be able to, again, be security for us in our farm areas in Plateau. But it's a society, a place like Plateau, where it's an agrarian place, and of the 325 wards that we have in Plateau, there is no single ward, none, that is not a farming community in Plateau. If you have them, they may be those that are just within the city metropolis. And even in the city metropolis, you'll find that they still have those that are doing their own small scale of farming. But Plateau is basically a farming place. So if you even have 150 agro rangers, how many local governments can they go to? How many will be per local government, or even to say the worst, in a ward? And we are large-scale farmers. We are large-scale farmers on the Plateau. So you can see the complexity of the issue around us is that there must be a deliberate effort to combine force to be able to tackle the challenges that we are facing as the people in Plateau State. Now, besides the Operation Rainbow, every indicator that is showing, that is pointing towards a challenge on security on the Plateau, Governor Caleb Mutfwang has taken measures to be able to tackle that. In the early 60s or 70s, I beg your pardon, Wase, there's a large grazing reserve in Wase that had been abandoned before now, and that is like a hideout for the bandits that have been operating around Plateau State. In recent times, the government had been able to ensure that those areas were cleared and to be habitable. Now, what we have been able to do is to make sure that we open those areas for our grazing on the Plateau, and to initiate the process. Plateau State government had started the planting of napier grass so that not just our cattle, but farmers would be able to grow businesses around there, and then it will be like a reserve area for cattle and ranching and all of those issues around it, so that we do not have the challenge of either the herders.
Let me butt in here just a moment. My apologies because of time. So as we begin to wind down, the governor said Rion won't fall. That's just a statement. What is the action that will be taken? Is there a vigilante group?
I'm explaining to you the actions that this government has been able to take. But these are long-term actions. Okay?
No. Commissioner, no, that's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to say. Yesterday, we appreciate the effort that has been taken. Yesterday or so, 2 days ago, when the governor visited, I said Rio won't fall. So I'm asking, from that yesterday or 2 days ago when he went there, what action has been taken? That's the question.
Of course, the actions that have been taken is to improve surveillance in those areas and then to add up to the security in those areas. But to say, when he said the Riom will not fall, is to reassure the people we are all in this thing together, and to make sure that our people are having the right spirit to be resolute and to stand their ground, to say we will not leave our areas, because once the people leave those areas, the next thing is that you find they just want the people to run away from these areas, and then they turn those areas into the places where they can start having cattle occupy again. And so it is is just a call for the people to be resolute and to stand their grounds, to ensure that not to take up weapons or to fight or whatever it is, because of course they don't have such capacity to be able to fight back, but then to just give them the support that they need to fight back, as to stay with the will to remain in their communities.
No, I'm wondering, put yourself, I want you to put yourself, let's put ourselves in the same situation. So the governor comes to my village and said, Rion would fall. And 200 meters away, there were security formation that were there, and 27 people were killed in my village. How is that reassuring? I mean, things like vigilantes, things like, I don't know, assurances are not enough. That's what we're saying.
Thank you. I understand that I am first a Plateau woman before a commissioner. So if I'm putting myself, I'm speaking from what I know that is the position that our people must take. If the governor says that Plateau will not fall, the governor is assuring the people we are in this together. So there's increased surveillance on that area. Okay, these are the actions that we've put in place. And of course, the hard-to-reach community, we've been deliberate about it to open up routes. We may not be able to get solution here today and now, but then the measures that the government is putting is to ensure that subsequent attacks like this would not go on the way it has been going on. Okay, so this is what we are doing, right, to have that these road networks in these areas are opened up, security and surveillance is going on, right, and then encouraging community policing. Once you have any information, you share the information, and then the state government, he even used the word, who escalated. Once that there's any information coming up from the people from those areas, we will ensure that as state government we loud it, and let's see how much support we will get from the federal government. But I do not want you to leave with the I don't want to leave here and then not clear the impression like the governor on his own can be able to do much. You know the security architecture of this nation. You know that there's a limit to what the governor can do as a governor, even with the name of the chief security of the state. There's limitations to whatever he can do. Well, the best of what he can do is to create an enabling environment to reduce the havoc that can come on the people. Right. However, we must note that the security is, the challenges we're encountering is hybrid. There's more to it. It's not just the basic this thing, and we do not want to isolate Plateau, so it doesn't look like it is failure on the government of Plateau to be able to secure the people. There's a lot that we need to work together with to be able to achieve these results that we're looking for as a people in Plateau, and of course, Nigeria at large.
Indeed, we have to anchor now, but just in 30 seconds, because this has been said to be an attack also on food production, our food security. What kind of agricultural activity goes on in Riom? What do they grow? And how will that impact food production, if we can do that in 30 seconds?
They grow maize, they grow potatoes. They grow maize, they grow potatoes, they grow acha. Acha is fonio. Fonio is one of the healthiest grains we have in Nigeria that is used for the treatment of diabetic patients. That's one of their cash crop in that community. They grow these crops. And of course, you know the potato, how we feed the nation with our potato in Nigeria. So these are the crops that they grow. And of course, like I said, they're attacking those farms again to bring food insecurity.
But these people are still on their farms. But the people are back to their farms now. They've not left. They're back to the farms.
In fact, the people said they will die on their farms. They will die there because they understand where this is heading to. And like our governor said, let me also say that this is genocide on the people of Plateau State. There are rules of engagement. When you begin to kill children, you begin to rip women open. This is genocide. You want to wipe out the generation. And this is what our people are suffering in Plateau State. Old people that have nothing again to do, you're killing them. Young children that do not know their left from their right, you're burning them, you're killing them. This is genocide on our people.
Joyce Ramdap, Commissioner for Information and Communications, Plateau State. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
Wish you the
President.
best.
Thank you.